What's poppin' YouTube? It's your boy On Point on the Grind, and this is a video response. This is okay. This is a video that I always wanted to put out there and do, but this is also a video response to NOLA TV show. His video was Black White Girls. So for my video is gonna be called Black Girls That Act White, that talk and act white. Basically, what something I always wanted to speak on. Black girls that I like that talk and act white, I have a problem with it, but then it's like I don't have a problem with it because I understand. But here, let me tell you my view. Most black people, when they grew up in an environment, they're around black people. They're born and raised around black people, so they come accustomed and immune to the things they do and the way that they act, and they have an understanding about certain type of things. But then you might have black people, like, with black girls that grew up in an all-white environment. Let's say their parents always had money, so they're in these nice neighborhoods, went to private schools where it was predominantly white. When you're black and you're growing up around predominantly white people, you know what I'm saying, it kind of transforms your way of thinking. It's kind of like thinking of how white people would think, and you talk like it and you act like it, and you kind of like adapt to their culture and you identify with that. And I think a lot of black girls that are like that, it's, me personally, I think it's cool to adapt with the other side, but I think they should never forget where they came from. I still think they should be taught about their culture, their roots, and I think they need to somewhat really identify with that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with playing both sides. To get an experience, to see what it's like to be around a lot of white people and know how to act around them, that's good too. But I think they also should know a lot about their culture. You know what I'm saying? Know a lot about their culture, know a lot how they do things, and know at the end of the day that racism is still alive. And just because you may be a black girl that do a lot of the stuff white people do and identify with a lot of things they do, at the end of the day a lot of white people still don't give a fuck about you. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to start no controversy or start some bullshit, but it's true. You know what I'm saying? I think, and one of the reasons what I think want to make a black girl think about this shit is that criminal justice, right? The criminal justice, for the most part, is based around race. And the criminal justice, a lot of times, what black people have failed black people. You got a lot of black people that's in prison right now that are innocent. You know what I'm saying? And majority of the criminal justice system is Caucasian. So my question would be to a black girl that likes to act and talk white. Like, think about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Wouldn't you want to know something about your culture? And, I feel like when black girls that's like that, it's like they being brainwashed. But then, it's like I can understand how it works sometimes, because a lot of times when you grow up in an environment, you pick that up. Black girls that grew up around nothing but white people, that's how they start to talk, and I can understand that. But I still think, somebody needs to step in and try to teach them about their culture and give them an understanding. But, to be honest with you, like I say, being black, and just because I say being black, I want people to understand, being black all the time is not always being hood and being ghetto and street. It don't always have to be that way. I think being black is having an understanding about what's going on in society and knowing where we stand as black people, and understanding about our culture, and uplifting the black race. Uplifting the black race, having an understanding about our culture, knowing where we stand, and the principle and morals that go over it. That's what I think is being black. I think that's also being black. I think being black is being those type of things, and being black could be, getting hood, putting a little flavor into it, rap. I think that's being black too. So just for y'all know, I'm not trying to say that these girls should need to be hip, but if they can't do that, at least have an understanding, about their culture, and knowing where they stand with a lot of things, and knowing what time it is at the end of the day. I think that's something that's really important, and that really matters, because it's like you getting put into this predicament. You born in this predicament, and you act and portraying this, and that's all you know. And then when you have children, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna start to reproduce, and say like, these black girls are getting with white men, and they start reproducing, until everything is just lost. It's like, I think as a black person, I really think it's important that they somehow identify with their culture. I really think it's important. I think it's a terrible disappointment when they don't. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be racist or start trouble. I'm just speaking on the way that I feel. A lot of times I hear black girls talk white and shit, I used to get fucking annoyed. It's like, really? Like, y'all need to stop that bullshit. Like, but some of them really grew up in that environment and they can't help it. But then you got some that just act like it, that can't help it. That's the shit that gets under my fucking nerves. You know what I'm saying? Like the little preppy dingy white girls, they be like, oh my god, like, blah, blah, blah. You know, I had some black girls start that shit. That shit kind of pissed me off. I'm like, I'm on my job. I remember like around like 08, 09 when I was working at Publix and shit. I was bagging. I was a front service clerk. I carried out carts and bag. This black girl came and she was sounding just like that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. I said, y'all need to stop that shit now. And I'm saying, I was just being real. Like, the shit really annoyed the fuck out of me. And it's like, you know, like, you gonna sound like that? But you know, like I say, for the ones that can't help it, I understand. But I still think they should be taught about their culture and somewhat identify with that. And the ones that's just doing that bullshit on purpose, that's some bullshit. You motherfuckers is brainwashed, and you need to stop that shit. I just want you to understand, it's nothing wrong with, now for the black girls that do this stuff or whatever, it's nothing wrong with dating interracially and being broaden your spectrum, listening to rock, pop. There's nothing wrong with being black, listening to that. I'm black and I listen to pop, R&B, rock, all that stuff. I listen to everything. Only thing I don't listen to is country. I'm not your average black person. I know how to talk white and do all that and identify with certain things that they do. But at the end of the day, I know what time it is. At the end of the day, I still identify with my culture. And I have no shame in my game with calling myself an African. I have no shame in my game with dating, you know, women of my race. I have no shame in my game with being with a black woman who wants to wear her hair natural. I have no shame in my game calling myself African. Like, you know, like I said, it's deeper than that at the end of the day. I still identify with that. I listen. I'm open-minded. I'm versatile. But at the end of the day, I still know what time it is. And I think a lot of black girls that are in that predicament, I think they need to know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Because, it's just, I'm not going to lie, man. Like, I'm not a racist person. But, you know, if I do see a bad black chick, and she with a white man, I ain't gonna lie, that shit gonna make me kind of feel some type of way, like, what the fuck, like, but I'm not racist. It's just the principle of the whole thing is like, damn, like, I think if you got a girl that's black, man, you want to be versatile, cool, man, but just at least know what time it is and learn about your culture and identify with that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we, black people, we have a long history of a lot of things, and a lot of that stuff was taken from us and stripped away. You know, a lot of us was stripped away from our culture. And the fact that we were stripped away from our culture and done the way that we was done, I think it would be blasphemy, and I think it would be a spit in the face for black girls to just, you know, adopt and carry on with that white side without trying to have an understanding of their black side, of what they blackness and what they have a history of. I think it will only be right. But, you know, like I say, some people gonna do what they want to do in society, and that's just how it is. I don't know, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. I just wanted to kind of like shed some light on it. Shit, man. I'm about to go ahead and head out the calf. Hope they got something good, you know. By the way, I want you guys to, matter of fact, I'll just do it on another video. But anyway, but I just want, fuck it. Shout out to my homeboy Champion Music Hall. You know, so he's one of my homeboys. Before I went to college, before I came to college, he was my homeboys I chilled with in Job Corps. And he got his own YouTube page and Facebook page. He makes beats and he does dancing and stuff like that. I'm gonna put his channel and all his Facebook and YouTube information up under the description box. So shout out to my boy Champion Music Hall. I'm gonna shout him out in a few more videos too, so I can get him out there. So you guys already know what it is, man. It's your boy On Point and On the Grind signing out. About to go head to this cab. Peace.